What's going on YouTube? It's Brazen back here with another video for you guys. If you guys are enjoying the content, if you guys want to hit a like down below, subscribe if you guys are new here, and leave a comment letting me know you subscribe so I can welcome you to the family. And that being said, cue intro. What's going on YouTube, and welcome back to the 2024 offseason for our Jets franchise. So we are obviously going to go over everything and get to the draft, which we might not have a lot of draft picks this year, and we'll kind of explain that as we go. So we finished 8-9, pretty decent. 85 offense, 84 defense, with the 84 overall is what we are. Obviously, in the last video, we did everything about that, but we want to show you our roster right now. Talk about the re-sides, talk about free agencies, talk about, what is it that we're looking to get. So right here we have Mekhi Becton, Elijah Vera Tucker. I don't know what Turner this is, but Billy Fox, Nate Wilson. And they're all basically star developments and then superstar, obviously. We have Baz Knight. Elijah Moore is a superstar. Michael Carter is a superstar. Darnell Mooney actually regressed to star from superstar, unfortunately. And then Michael Pittman actually regressed to, normal, which is a bad sign. We may try to get rid of him, maybe through the draft or maybe whatever the case is. We obviously have Eli Bacon, I believe it is Eli. As our backup, he's a 78th, but he is a X-Factor development. It's just tough to play him over Michael Carter because Michael Carter is such a high overall. But I like having the kind of 1-2 punch. And then we have Zach Wilson at an 87 right now. He does have a morale boost a little bit, but he's not doing too bad. And there's really no quarterbacks that we want through this draft from what we saw. Now, defensively, some of our players, we obviously traded for Cunningham kind of through the year, and he's a superstar. Ty Castle is a superstar. Quinny Williams is an X Factor. Carl Lawson actually regressed. We have JC, Simpson, and Sprinkle, who are all star development, which are pretty good. Ashton Davis is a star development. Joey Dickens went to superstar, and then Shirley is actually a superstar as well. So definitely someone that we're going to be starting. And then we have Marcus May and then Albert, right? So what we're probably going to do is I'm thinking about trading some of our draft picks for a free safety or getting one through free agency, right? So we're going to go ahead and I don't know if we could check our draft picks through here. I don't know how to check our draft picks, to be honest, through there. But we're going to advance to the re-sign first. And I believe I re-signed pretty much everyone we wanted. I'm just going to look at it to kind of give myself a refresher. We could look at the retirements. I don't think anyone on our team probably retired. I guess maybe a couple people could have, but I don't see us having a lot of retirees, if anything. Yeah, we don't have any. We usually don't try to keep old players, so we don't want people that are regressing on our team. Let's look at the negotiations. So we have Gregory Worth. We don't want Marcus May. So this is someone, Marcus May. We obviously can't trade him because he's not going to be on contract, but he's 32. Star development, we don't really want Marcus May. Michael Carter, we don't really need. Cornerback, 26. He is a scheme fit. I guess we could, but I don't think we really need him, and these two people aren't even scheme fit, so there's really no reason to get him. Marcus May is really the only one, but I think we're just going to let him walk, and then we're going to go ahead and from here try to look at free agency. So I think what we're going to do is advance to free agency and just take a look at it real quick. And then as I make decisions and we look at what we actually want to sign and everything like that, we'll definitely go ahead. We have $69 million in cap space. Then from here, we'll go ahead and see, do we want to trade for somebody? Do we want to just sign somebody? Whatever the case is. So let's go through position. There's obviously no quarterbacks. Aaron Jones is 30, so it's not really going to be super useful for us. There's like Alexander Madison, who's already 27. Obviously, no fullbacks are really going to be there worth anything. Jamar Chase is somebody that we could maybe think about, but he's probably going to be fairly expensive, about $19 million. It's not horrible, but he would be pretty good number 3 receiver for us. Some tight ends like Jonnu, Tyler Higbee, but once again, we don't really need a tight end. Linemen, obviously, we don't really need either. There's going to be some old linemen. We have a lot of like star developments and things like that, so I'm not really too worried about them. Stephon Tuitt, all of these players are going to be pretty old and not really going to be anybody that we need. Is that Levi Onzarike. No outside linebackers. We don't need any middle linebackers or right outsides. Patrick Surtain would be a great one, but we don't really need him. He wants $52 million over 4 years. He would be good, definitely. Free safety is what we would want. The issue is there free safety worth getting, right? Which, from what we can see, not really. So what we would have to do is trade for a free safety, more or less, and there's really no strong safeties either. So what we would have to do, more or less, is going to be trade for a free safety. So we're going to look at that. We may make a trade with our first round picks and try to get like a 90 overall free safety or something, like a really good one, like a Minka Fitzpatrick or something crazy. So we'll kind of keep you guys updated. Not probably too many people we want through free agency. So, we don't want to waste money just to waste it. So from here, we'll go ahead and look at it and we'll keep you guys updated. All right, so going ahead and looking at our college players and looking at our picks and kind of deciding what we're going to do. So we have the 30th pick in the draft. And then from there, we have a 3rd round, 4th round, whatever, later picks. But the problem is, so really the position that we really need is obviously a free safety. A right outside linebacker, we have a superstar. So even though it says C, we're not really worried about that. And then obviously offensively, we're doing pretty good as well in pretty much every position. So it's really that free safety that we want to take care of in the first round. Now the issue is, we look at safeties. There's obviously Damian Brackett. There's a couple of George Williams and Dom Armstrong that are first round talents. The issue is they're all run supports, right? Which is great. Run support's great. Maybe they can replace Ashton Davis in a year or two. We can kind of play behind them. But we need a zone free safety, a scheme fit. And there's just really no zone free safeties that are good, at least, right? So the thing that happens with it is there is cornerbacks that are zone fits, right? I thought about maybe drafting a corner, moving them to safety since they are zone. So someone like Larry Hobbs, Maurice Smith, not really him. I think was there another one? I thought there was another one. Maybe not. I think it was just those two that were the biggest ones. Maurice Smith right here. He's pretty fast, right? We can move him to zone coverage, move him to the free safety position. The issue is where these players are getting taken. So if we look at this, we know we have the 30th pick. Larry Hobbs is going 12. And then we don't really care about Darren Goods. It's going to be Maurice Smith. So we would have to trade up in the draft. But what I'm thinking is it would be better to trade that 30th overall pick to get a scheme fit free safety. Now, I've had my eye on a couple of them. And we'll see what kind of goes through, what we can do. There's one player that by far is the one I want. But I don't see them trading him. So we got to go free safety. And he is on the Lions. And he's going to be, like I said, this is the best one we could get that's not too high of an overall, but is also a beast. But I just personally don't see them giving him to us. Atkinson, I think. He's a superstar X Factor at 23. He's obviously really, really good. He's a scheme fit, which is obviously great. And then we look at his contract. He does at least have 2 years left as well. So we get 2 good years, and then we can re-sign him to like a 3-4 year, which he'll need more money, obviously. Some other players I've thought about would be someone like Jeremy Chin. He's 27, but he at least is a superstar. And he is on, I believe, is he on contract? Yeah, he's on contract for about 4 more years as well. So we would basically get him through his prime. But the issue is we would kind of need somebody a little bit earlier, right? So Atkinson is the one that we're going to try to go for mostly. There's also some players that we could try for, but they're not, like he's a star, right? 26-year-old star is good. It's definitely viable, but I don't think I would want to trade a first round pick for him, right? These players, there's a lot of stars that I would trade for. Antoine Winfield, like a star once again. I would trade for him, but I wouldn't really want to give away a first round pick for just a star, especially if they're a little bit older as well. Because obviously if they're a little bit older, whatever the case is, like he's normal, we're definitely not trading for him. But there's some good options, right? Grant Delpit is a star. He's only 26, so once again we would get him for a couple years. We would have to re-sign him, which if I think we'd be okay if we re-signed him. But there's definitely some players there, but we would kind of have to not only re-sign them, but I wouldn't want to give away a first round pick for a star. So we're going to try the Lions, and we're just going to see. I'm just going to put it up one-on-one for the first rounder real quick and see what it looks like. And then from there, we'll just play around with it, possibly think about who we want to give up. I doubt they're going to do it one-on-one. They actually are pretty happy with it. So I'm definitely going to trade them. I'm going to figure out who I want to give, and then we'll come back right when we get that trade done. All right, so we got the trade to go through. First round draft pick and John Franklin Myers for their free safety Atkinson. Obviously, we have the boost where Franklin Myers, he's a star, but it counts him as a superstar. And obviously, we have all the percentage boost to our players and trading for CPU players and all of that. So it does make it a little bit easier on us to get a little bit better of a player. Definitely a huge trade for us. Now, if we go check our roster out, the reason we were okay with giving up John Franklin Myers, he's a little bit older. He should already be in the lineup if we traded for him. So let's just go ahead and check it out. But he also, John Franklin Myers wasn't a starter anyway. So if we go ahead and check it out, he wasn't a starter. Now we get a obviously morale boosted superstar, but we still have Kelvin Cunningham starting over here, and then Carl Lawson, who is 30. So we may want to try to get a right end to try to replace Carl Lawson in the long term, as well as a free safety, or sorry, a cornerback. So we're going to take a look at free agency again for corners and maybe right end, and then from there we'll go ahead and keep going through the free agency and everything like that. All right, so huge news actually for us, which was Patrick Surtain the second. We actually got him, and we'll acknowledge that. We'll go check out our roster and kind of show you everything. That was huge for us because he's a superstar. He's actually really good. It was worth it. So we kind of overpaid. He wanted about $52 million. We paid him about $63 over 4 years, but I really wanted him on our team, and we have the money to do it. I think it was okay. So first off, what we're going to do is Patrick Surtain's our number 1. JC will be our number 2. We have Sprinkle and Simpson. JC is a little bit older, but that's okay. So that's 2 huge pickups on our defense side of the ball, Patrick Surtain and then Atkinson, which are huge upgrades. So now in the draft, we obviously got rid of our 30th pick, so we have no picks till the 3rd. So we really are going to be looking at maybe getting some depth in these positions. Maybe we get a late round receiver. I don't know. We're going to scout our board for a couple weeks, and then later in the free agency, we'll kind of go over it. If we check out the free agency board, just to show you who's kind of here. I mean, maybe we can get a receiver, honestly. We'll see who's still on the board, to be honest with you. But I don't think there's really... I could have probably got Jamar Chase, which would have been a good fit. So I might have messed up there. I don't know. I wasn't really sold on Jamar Chase. I think he's good. But I just didn't know if we want to spend the money on him, right? Because we do need some cap room because we're going to have some free agency re-signs, right? Like Joey Dickens is going to need a re-sign, and he's going to be expensive being a superstar now. So we don't really want to get rid of it too much. But maybe, we draft a later receiver. So we look at some receivers. We're obviously going to be looking at 3rd rounds, right? At that point, because our first pick would be in the 3rd round. So maybe let's look at some 3rd rounders that are some scheme fits. I mean, they might not be perfect, but they might be at least decent enough to pick, right? Jonathan Minor can go we can take him in the 4th. He's decently fast, not great combine, but he's a mid-second round talent. Let's look at like someone like Dan Curley. So there's some okay players out here. We'll scout a couple more of them, but we definitely want to get a scheme fit if we're going to do it. So we'll keep that in mind when we're looking. Now that we don't have a lot of early round picks, but we also got 2 great players, so I think it was worth it, in my personal opinion. So we can keep going. Basically, we'll just advance one more week and show you guys our scout board again. And then we're going to have to, our draft board's really not going to have too much there. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and scout this board. And then we're going to go ahead and look from there. So let's go wide receivers. We obviously looked at some first round talents, but since we don't have a first round pick or even a second round pick, they're not going to be really too useful to look at. But you look at someone like Chad Booth, right? Second round talent, not very fast, so probably not someone we want. Okay, not very good from him. Let's see if some of these 7th rounders are decent. Probably not, but you never know. Von Ross, watch him be, he's not very great. It'd be someone like Charles Peoples. Might be okay. I don't know. Yeah, he wasn't very fast, so we weren't really super excited about him. Jonathan Minor, probably the one we're looking at just because he's decently fast. So he goes in the 5th round. We can take him with our 4th round pick, and at least we get a depth position, right? A good player. So we'll definitely keep going from here. Probably get our draft board ready because there's not much else to do besides the draft, I don't think, and then we'll go ahead and head into the draft. All right, so we got our draft board. So basically, with our picks, we're thinking in the 3rd round, we're going to try to get George Williams or Mark Simpson. So George Williams is really good talent-wise. Obviously, he's a run stopper, which is what we need. He's really fast, really strong, 3-cone shuttle, all very good. Very, very good in the combine. And he could possibly replace Ashton Davis in a year or 2. If he's a superstar, he might replace him right away. He's a 1st-round talent that we can get in the 3rd. We're hoping he's there. If not, we're also thinking maybe Mark Simpson. I know we don't really need a D tackle, but it's never bad, and he's kind of like an all-world D tackle. He's an early 1st-rounder with 1st, 2nd, 1st, 3rd in all of these combine reports, so he's really, really good. So I think one of these 2 players, I think we need George Williams more, but Mark Simpson's really, really good. So we'll take hopefully one of them with our 3rd round if they're there. With the 4th round, we're going to probably take Jonathan Minor. 5th round, maybe someone like DJ Borden. We're also going to move up Adam Goddard to this right here, only because, in the 3rd round, if the other 2 are taken, maybe we take a speed rusher right here. He's pretty decent. He's a late third round talent, and he's obviously going in the third, so he's not like a huge steal necessarily, but he's someone that maybe we could take in that position if we need it. And then we have some later round picks like Connor Gallagher, who, you know, once again isn't great, but he's pretty good in the combine, and he's a 7th round pick, mid 6th round talent, so we could waste a 6th round pick on him. Or we can waste it on Jarius Webster if we don't get the first D tackle, who's a mid 2nd round talent, something like that. So we're going to go ahead, sim forward to the free agency 4 and then free agency, or the NFL draft, I mean. So right here, we'll sim forward. I don't think there's any more scouting we can do. Yeah, so there's no more scouting. So we can go ahead and just advance it right here. Obviously, staff-wise as well. I'll just go over that real quick. But staff-wise, points, we already have 3 and 5 talents, 6 and 7, 8 to 10. And then 6 and 8 on the first one. So you can see we're pretty much locked. We pretty much got everything maxed out on our staff points. We've done pretty good on that. If we check out right here, we've done pretty good. We could use Fountain of Youth, or we've seen enough if we get enough points. Talent tree for Bill Duncan. Obviously, we're trying to finish up the offensive talent tree. That's really the only thing that we haven't 100% finished. And then defensively, we're almost right there. I think we actually did finish it. Now we officially, I think, finished it. So there's no more that we need to put there. So doing pretty good on that. So let's go ahead and just get into the NFL draft, which shouldn't be a very long NFL draft for us, if I'm being honest, because we don't have a lot of early round picks. It's a lot of depth positions, no one that we need to be an instant starter. But if we get with some of these players, then maybe they will end up being somewhat decent. So we're going to start the draft, and then we're obviously going to pause it because obviously no one wants that going ahead. And we're going to go next user pick. Now we're going to go next round. And then we're going to skip to the 3rd round. So we're going to advance to the next round, and we're going to see where these players go. So let's view our draft board, and we're going to see, we know we're 13th. So let's just see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I just want to see, are any of them here, right? So Adam Goddard is, he's someone that's here. Let's just look at our draft board and see, are any of them still here? So Adam Goddard would be the only one that's still here. He's still pretty low. So the talent players, they obviously took earlier, which is not a big deal. We knew we might not get him. So Adam Goddard might be someone we pick up right now. Let's just go ahead and look at available and just make sure there's no one that doesn't look like anyone there will take right now is a good talent for what we want. You know, like Dom Armstrong. Maybe we take Dom Armstrong, you know. Let's go look at strong safety. I know we didn't have him on our board, but he is a run stopper and he's a 1st round talent. He's not as good as the other one, but I think we're actually going to take Dom Armstrong, and I think he might last. So let's go ahead and look. I just want to make sure that he doesn't look like he'll go, right? I just want to see where he is on the board. We're 13th. He's not supposed to go to 21st, so late 3rd round. You know, he might get taken, but hopefully that's not the case. Because I'm just thinking, do we trade up? We could, but I don't really want to give away much. And I do like some of our later picks, so let's go to next user pick, and hopefully they are here. If not, you know, we'll have to kind of play it by ear, but hopefully they are here, and that would make it a lot easier. And unfortunately, actually, both of them are not here. So they took both of them. It looks like they actually are taking a little bit more talent. So we're going to have to look at available at that point. And let's just see. We could take Zach Walden, who did a crazy in the combine. He's a late 1st round talent, but he doesn't fit our scheme, which is why we weren't really looking at him. We don't really want a 4th round talent right now. We're just going to look and kind of see who is here that maybe, you know, we are still here that could be good use to us. Bobby Turk, we're obviously going to take later. We don't want to take him too early. Really, a lot of power rushers there that don't really fit our scheme. The hold to reorder is kind of annoying. Maybe we take like a lineman. I mean, I know we've looked at some of these, but I don't think there's anyone here that's really worth anything. I guess we could take like a tight end as well. Or we just take the wide receiver, right? We take a Jonathan Minor. Just so that way we don't lose him. Actually, you know who I'm going to take is I'm going to take the quarterback. And I think we can get Jonathan Minor in the next round. You know what? Actually, I'm going to take Jonathan Minor. This is what I did last time and we messed up. So I'm just going to take Jonathan Minor. And why not? We know he's a mid-2nd round talent. He's all right. Let's see. He's normal, but we get him at decent talent. Why not? You know, you don't know if he's going to be a star. So I don't really want to. Let's go next user pick. I don't want to mess ourselves up, right? And miss players like we did in the draft before. So we know we got this 4th round pick right here. Let's go to our draft board. We're looking at DJ Borden. He's a vertical threat. He's decent, but we also just want some depth. he's a late 4th round pick, so it's not like, and he actually is a hidden development. So that means he's a star or better, which is pretty good, right? I mean, at the very minimum, at least he's a star or better, and he'll develop decent. That's okay. We're okay with that. Let's make our selection in the 5th round. We have 2 5th round picks, I believe. So let's go draft board. And then we have Jarius Webster and then Connor Gallagher, which we could take one of them with our 5th and then 6th round pick, more than likely. Or we can take them with our both 5 picks and then worry about them later, which is, I think, what we're going to do. That way we get the players we want. He looks like he's pretty good. Normal development, we reached a little bit. Not a big deal because he's really a backup. And honestly, these late round picks are obviously not too big of a deal anyways. Let's make our selection on this D tackle. It's always great to have depth on these positions if you can. So let's get Jarius Webster. He's a mid-second rounder. He's hidden as well, but we got him at very good value. So definitely worth it. And then let's go to our next user pick. And let's just see who we're going to get in these last couple of rounds. Like I said, not as long of a draft this time because we know there's not a lot going on there. Someone like Martin Harper is not... We don't have anyone on our draft board. So what positions have we drafted? We got a D tackle, wide receiver, tight end, center. There's really no strong safeties or safeties at all unless we're going to take someone that is just basically not good at all. We didn't do too well on our draft board this year, I guess. It's crazy that someone like D'Angelo Perriman basically did horrible and basically no one wants him. We obviously took a D tackle, so we definitely don't want another one of those. Linemen are always good just to get depth, to be honest with you. You don't expect to get anyone good in this kind of tier, but at least, getting someone that maybe has depth is always good for some of these positions. Looks like wide receivers are always just going to be here. John Allen is a 3rd round talent. Maybe we draft him. You never know. I guess we'll just draft 2 receivers. You never know if you get a hidden. You know what I mean? It is what it is, I guess. Let's skip ahead to the next user pick, which will be the last pick of the draft for us. And we don't want to skip ahead. We want to make our selection. So let's just see. Really not a great draft, but there really wasn't much that we needed. So a bunch of utilities, which we don't need. We don't really need any running backs. I guess we can draft like a strong arm QB, but they're all undraftable, or, that's what they say. So not really anybody. We're just going to look for anybody that's kind of like a green. Maybe we just take a chance on someone like a Justin Carruthers, just because we need some backup linemen. I mean, he's not very strong. He's not very good at anything. Let's just see if there's anybody here that maybe not. We don't really want someone that's undrafted. But let's just see if there's anybody here. Maybe we take someone like a Ty Sims so we can move him to safety. But wow, he's very slow. Definitely not. And then kickers. I mean, we could always look for a kicker as well, right? Try to get someone like a Kurt Garfield. Could try to get somebody like him. Get a better kicker. Maybe you get lucky with like a star. Why not? Normal. Whatever. They say he's good value. Doesn't really matter too much. So, and we didn't mean to do that. We want to advance to the end of the draft. We're going to look at our draft. And then the next, thing we got to do is get into the next season, right? So, pretty good looking there. Let's look at our draft recap. Like we said, there's really nothing. We didn't really need a lot of players. Minor didn't really do much for us. Borden is actually a star or better, which is good. All these players, a little bit of depth for our positions. It's always good to have a couple of linemen because we do get a lot of injuries, right? Same thing with like a Jarius Webster is we do get some injuries in the D tackle, and it's always good to be able to have someone else kind of help you out and everything like that. So I think we're pretty much good to go to the preseason. Obviously, this is going to be it for this episode. We'll get into it starting with the next season in the next episode. So let me know what you guys think. Go ahead, drop a like, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. And as always, I will see you guys next time.